Hi everyone, it's Xena here, and it's me, Gabrielle. And yes, we're back to being our big Toy Biz dolls again, you know. And some folks out there wonder, what are we going to talk about? Well, first thing I'm going to talk about is why my show never got a new make or a new boot or whatever it is. Because it still irks me to this day that my show never got a new boot or a new take. And I know there's going to be a lot of folks in the Xena Fighter ATHELING followership who are against a new boot or a new take, or don't like what we do on this Euro fairway and want to gatekeep us for a shit. Get a life. First off, there was nothing wrong with a new boot or a new take. Alright? You folks hated on it, and it wasn't even a thing. I wish it was a thing. I truly wish that my show would have gotten a new boot or a new take, you know. But you know what some of you folks did, and a lot of folks like to say, oh, the Xena Fighter ATHELING followership have great folks. Not so true. Yes, I have met some folks in the followership who are good and kind, but I have also met some who are not. So let's see, what did you folks do to handicap the new boot from happening? Well, one, the new boot had its own binds because one, they couldn't make up their mind how much they wanted to yield for making the show. And then they couldn't make up their mind where they wanted to film the show and if they could get the rights to film the show where they wanted to film it. Hey, then you had Katrina Law, who was going to be casted to take playing the new Xena. What did you folks do? What did you Xena followers, some of you folks, do out there? You bitched and ranted about it. You didn't think Katrina or Katrina or Katrina or Katarina or Katrina, you didn't think Katrina Hall would be good enough. Well, let's be honest about that. Even if you bitched about it, I thought she would have done well, but what do I know? All we know is that some folks hated her, didn't like her as a show player, whatever. Who knows? A lot of folks made a big thing out of it. And then Katrina Law, for whatever grounds, just felt that she didn't want to do Xena, so then she left. I don't know. And then a whole bunch of other shit happened. And then one of the showrunners, Joxer Cavell, I guess, Xavier, who was known for doing the Lost show, he was going to be one of the showrunners and the head writer along with Robert Tappert and Samuel Drini and whoever else. Well, he left. I don't know what happened there. And then a whole bunch of other shit happened. And then my new boot was just known as dead in the water. And what did the folks in the Xena Fighter ATHELING followership do? They were happy about it. I don't understand why half of you folks in the followership are always against new things, or why there are some folks in my followership that like to gatekeep. And hey, let's talk about this gatekeeping shit that I got to deal with. Not so much on Euro, but on X, there was a whole lot of gatekeeping. You're right, Mother. There was gatekeeping going on in the Xena Fighter ATHELING followership on X. Folks gatekeeping you if you didn't show play, or you couldn't write or show play, or write the same, or write or behave or play Xena the way that everyone else played Xena. If your take on Xena wasn't the same as, I don't know, the show's take or the show player's take, then, oh, you were not welcomed. And there were folks out there that did gatekeep on me and said, oh, well, you're not good at writing. You're not good at at this kind of self-playing, show-playing writing, whatever you call it. Someone said we weren't taking it earnest enough. How earnest could you take it? I was taking it earnest. So I got gatekeep because they thought I wasn't being earnest enough. And there was also gatekeeping if your take on Xena wasn't the same as everyone else's take. Oh, if you didn't onlook and you didn't worship, if you didn't good doer worship Lucille, Lawless, Ryan Tappard, then oh God, you were gatekeeped. Yeah, and since we don't onlook and since we don't worship, don't good doer worship everything she says and does, we were gatekeeped. So, yeah, I truly had enough of the bullshit. And all that shit happened in 28 between FYL when we were on X. So don't tell us there wasn't gatekeeping going on, because there was. So, yeah, I don't want to hear about that. So, yeah, the Xena fighter ATHELING followership, it's not a good followership. It has its ups and downs. You got folks that like to good doer worship Lucille, Ryan, Tappard, Lucille, Ryan, Lawless, Tappard, and a good doer worship her on everything she does, and they don't see anything wrong in anything she says and does, Folks that think that they got to stand up for her and gatekeep, well, she can fight her own fights. She don't need you standing up for her, and you shouldn't be good doer worshiping her. And also, gatekeeping on us and X and saying that, hey, we weren't taking it earnest, or you don't know how to show play right. You don't know how to write or show play like Xena would. Well, I'm sorry. If our take on Xena wasn't good enough for some of those folks on X, it is what it is. Yeah, but we shouldn't have to worry about any of that anymore, Gabrielle, because we haven't been on X since 28 between FYL. And nowadays, if you want to make a fairway on X and you haven't already had one going back a long time ago, they make it hard to make a fairway. They make it where you got to answer all these asking things. Oh, spin around and tell us if the cat's tail, match the cat's tail up. Oh, you match the cat's tail up, still wrong. Oh, tell us if you spin around and you matched up this Wayne. Oh, I did get the Wayne right. Nah, you got it wrong. Yeah, shit like that, just to make a reckoning with them. So yeah. And even if we did come back on X, the gatekeeping would start up again. Folks who didn't like us being on X and didn't like how we show played as Xena or a take on Xena, all they'd come back. But it would just be hush, lock, forbid, and get out of my life. So I don't want to hear about I don't want to hear all this good shit about the Xena fighter ATHELING followership when there's some bad shit in it. Oh, and getting blocked for no grounds. Yeah, I forgot to bring that one up, Gabrielle. Now I know how we got blocked by folks who just looked at us and say, oh, I don't like the way you do Xena. Block, forbid, block, hush, forbid. Yeah, just being blocked like that. You didn't do anything wrong. So yeah, that was also kind of gatekeeping as well. Or you also had folks on X that would lie. Had double standards about things. Oh well, that's just me bitching about my followership and some of the things that are wrong with it. Well, that's it, Gabrielle says. That's just the end of our film. More about us bitching about how the Xena fighter ATHELING followership behaves, how some of their standards are. But not everyone in the followership is guilty of this. Some are, some are not. And that's it. We'll see you later.